Morning! We just left the A66, dropped down into Mungrisdale and then parked up at Bowscale, which is just before the valley of Mungrisdale, just to my right. Carrick Fell over the other side of the valley. We head out the little lay-by and then up this track where we're currently heading towards Bowscale Tarn, which is just up there somewhere. We're going to go up that ridge and then on to Bowscale Fell. It's a cold morning, about -2, but it certainly feels a bit colder than that actually. A little further up the track here we're going to take a left, head down the side of Bowscale Tarn and start heading up that ridge. It's a long time since I've done this walk. In fact, I would say it's probably 15 years, so it's a fairly new one again for me, and certainly a new one for the channel. We've done Bowscale Fell, but we've never done Bowscale Fell via Bowscale Tarn. Just me and the rock star today. As you can see, he's now fit as a fiddle. As I said in my Sail Fell video, he's been on a bit of a diet. We had a weigh-in yesterday and he's actually lost 3 pounds in 2 weeks, so that's pretty good. Well, we'll probably go for about 8 pounds in total, roughly about half a stone. And if you think that doesn't sound much, it's like 4 bags of sugar, so he certainly should be a little bit fitter after that. So we're using the Hiker app today, and you can see we've got a mobile signal, so it's enabled the 3D mapping. We're actually using the satellite map today. You can see our route we've plotted in the orange. You can see in the bottom corner our track in purple. You can see the tarn in the middle of the screen, but you can also see a little path veering off to the left before our route we planned, which takes us nearer to the tarn, so we're going to find that path. We're going to take that one. As you can see, I've got the big woolly hat on. I don't think it'll be on for much longer. I think as soon as we get into that sunshine, the big hat and the down jacket will probably come off. I'm not keen on big woolly hats, as you've probably noticed. Don't like my head overeating. I always feel very uncomfortable if my head's too warm. I think if you keep your head cooler, it regulates your body temperature a bit better. It certainly does for me anyhow, so I don't think it'll be long before the scraggy red scarf's back on. So it's just a nice gradual ascent up from the car park. We parked at about 200 metres. The tarn itself is a very high tarn. It sits at about 500 metres, and the summit of Bowscale Fell 702 metres. We've got a lovely ridge and a lovely crag to walk around, and then we'll continue over the summit and the ridge and drop down the other end at Raven Crags into Mungrisdale, where we'll have a tiny little bit of road walking back around to Bowscale. And what a beautiful morning, eh? You really must be wondering how I get so many nice days when I do actually work as well. I work 3.5 days, so I'm lucky enough to have 3.5 days off, so we kind of pick and choose the good ones. Look at that view down Mungrisdale. Wow. And Bowscale Tarn's just behind that little hillock in front of us. A little further up here we're gonna find a path to our left and head round the left hand side of that little hillock, which will drop us right onto the tarn. And here's that path just here. Our ascent has definitely started to steepen now. Old Mr. Sprightly there, bombing ahead. We're not too far from the Tarn now. Bowscale Tarn is famed for a certain legend. There's two mystical creatures live in the Tarn. I'll explain when I get up there. And here we are, the very beautiful, remote Bowscale Tarn. There you go. We'll drop down to the Tarn side and follow that path to the right, and then somewhere up there there's a zigzag path going to take us onto that ridge. So what's the famous legend then? Well, legend has it that in this tarn lives two mystical creatures, two immortal fish, one of which can speak. Yep, a talking fish. William Wordsworth speaks of these mystical creatures in one of his poems, Song at the Feast of Brougham Castle. I've not read the poem, but I will be having a look at it when I get home. So there you go. Mystical immortal fish. Only in Cumbria, yeah? I'm getting a bit warm now, so time to get some of this gear off. That's better. Right, we'll continue along the side of the tarn and then up them crags. From the end of the tarn here, there are two paths that head up onto that ridge. You could continue north on this corner here and head up the ridge itself where you can see the sunlight, or you could cross the outlet of the tarn here and head up this path, which is a lot shorter but a bit more direct. We're going to head for that one. This path isn't actually on the Ordnance Survey map, and to be quite honest, I didn't even know it was here. I've always gone up the ridge itself, but I can see it clearly on the ground. There's no obstructions, probably about 100 metres of ascent, and we'll hit that sunshine. There you are, also very clear on the satellite map. I can assure you the path looks a lot worse from the tarn. It's not actually that bad when you get on it. What a great view looking back across the North Pennines. Little bit of clag on the top of Crossfell there. It'll be absolutely Baltic on Crossfell today. That helm wind will be on. Wind's coming out the north. Here's the Rockstar. couple of little rockier sections as we head further up, but nothing I would class as hard scrambling. And we have just popped out into the sunshine and it's beautiful. Oh, that's lovely. We're just going to pop out onto the ridgeline and head for the summit, which is just up there to my left. To my right is that path that comes in from the ridge. Got a fantastic view of the Tarn as we head along the ridge here, just about to step into the shade again as the summit of Bowscale Fell blocks the sun. What are them two talking fish are doing? It's a shame we didn't meet them. No, that would have been a video. The summits of Carrick Fell and High Pike now clearly visible across Mungrisdale. The summit of Bowscale Fell, 702 metres. It's a Wainwright, a Perched, a Hewitt and a Nuttall. The summit's marked by this summit shelter, from which I'll give you the 360. Now behind me, Carrick Fell, High Pike, Great Cock-up, Little Cock-up, Skidder in the foreground here, the ridge running up Blue Screes to the mighty Blencathra, and in the near foreground, in the shade of the sun, Bannerdale Crags. Below Bannerdale Crags East Ridge. Our route down off Bowscale Fell is east along the ridge, where we have another two tops, an east top and a far east top. From the summit we'll head over to the second summit, Tarn Crag's top, or Bowscale Fells East Summit, which lies about halfway along the ridge. And here we have it, Bowscale Fells Tarn Crag's top, 665 metres. It's a Perched. We'll continue further down the ridge east and down to Bowscale Fells far east top, and then we'll drop off the end at Raven Crags. It's always a bit boggy down here, but thankfully the bogs are frozen solid today. Just passing over the top of Bowscale Fells far east top, 604 metres. And right at the end of the ridge here we'll start dropping down and back into Mungrisdale. Wait until you see what we got for lunch today. We got a proper treat. You are going to be impressed. We just need to find somewhere a little bit more sheltered, because that wind along that ridge was absolutely savage. Starting to warm up again now as we descend to Raven Crags. So we're just starting our descent down the front of the ridge now, where the route to Raven Crags runs off to the right. Ridge kind of swings to the right down in the bottom there, drops us into Mungrisdale, where we've got a little bit of road walking to do back round to Bowscale and the van. So what a treat we've got today. We've got the food flask. It's about 10 years old now. I used to bring it all the time on the fells, but it is rather heavy. Comes with its own little spoon, and in here we've got my homemade bacon, lentil and vegetable soup. I made 9 batches of it last week, 9 big batches. Tracy will confirm how good it is, so will he. Here we go, piping hot. What a treat, look at that. That is good. I've got some nice white bread, proper butter. Look at the bacon on that. That is good. He's up. You've seen the white bread. Lovely buttered white bread. Dunk it in there like that. Bit for Billy. Oh, absolutely delicious. That bread in there, look. You want you, Woody lad, we'll save you a bit. Yeah. Good boy. Oh, look at that bacon. Wow. You wanting some? I'm going to save you some. That is really warm, and that's about I put it in about 7 o'clock this morning and it's now 1 o'clock. Got a larbit for the rock star. We've put him some ready salted crisps in there as well, because there's no such thing as dieting up here on the fells, is there, lad? We eat what we want. Enjoying that, eh? Oh look, there's your little friend there. He's come back to sleep. Come on, up you get. Come on. Good boy. And onto the steep, eroded path of Raven Crags. This is one tough path to ascend on a hot day in the summer. Not so bad descending on a cold day in the winter. Well, as long as your knees can handle it. We're at the bottom of Raven Crags now, and as you can see we've got a little bit of walking on the road, not far, about half a mile. Just got to walk round the bottom of the crag and then through the gate onto the road. Just down here. Just here. The gate has a beautiful stainless steel chain and latch on it, but the gate itself is almost ready for falling apart. Big shout out to mountain friend Raymond Greenhow, who just stopped on the side of the road in his car to say hello. I'm sure a few of you will know Raymond. What a character. He actually just rhymed that poem from William Wordsworth about the two immortal fish word perfect. And I never had the camera on. I should have had the camera on because he's even got the voice for it. Great to see you, Raymond. I really do hope you catch up with this video. All the best, mate. So it's not far down the road, about 3/4 of a mile, and then we're back at the van. So I'm going to wrap the video up here and say thank you for watching. If you like the content, please think about subscribing. Thank you for all the lovely comments and feedback I've been getting, and thank you for all the lovely comments once again about Billy. As you'll agree from the video today, I'm sure you'll have noticed he's back stronger than ever. He's here, look, pulling on lead. So it's bye from me, and it's bye from our lad the Rockstar. Today's walk starts from Bowscale, just north of the village of Mungrisdale in the northern fells. We head up the footpath in the direction of Bowscale Tarn. Once reaching Bowscale Tarn, we steeply head up the crags, onto the ridge, and then up to the summit of Bowscale Fell. From Bowscale Fell we head over to the east top, Tarn Crags, and then the far east top. From the far east top we head down Raven Crags, back into Mungrisdale, and followed the road back round to Bowscale and the van.